It's now my honor, a true honor, for me to introduce your next speaker, President of the Métis National Council. Please join me in welcoming President Clément Chartier.
Thank you, Marty. Wish to thank Elder Nault for the prayer this morning. Elders, fellow Métis, guests, friends of the Métis, and in this I include Le Ministre Bernard Velcourt, and I can say that through my interactions with Minister Velcourt, he clearly understands the Métis Nation and our aspirations and, in fact, capacity to be a greater contributing force to the economic well-being of Canada as a whole, and I thank him for the words that he just provided us. Now, President Chartrand, of course, always reminds us as to where we are in the old Red River, the current Winnipeg, the heart of the historic Métis Nation. And I always take the opportunity to say, well, there's other important organs of the Métis Nation, of our collective body out there, and I come from the historic Métis community of Île-à-la-Crosse, Buffalo Narrows, and a little bit of things in common. Louis Riel Sr. was born in Île-à-la-Crosse, as was I a few years later. So, a bit of a connection. But Louis Riel Sr., of course, is also an important historic figure within the Métis Nation, as well, of course, as his son, Louis David Riel. In 1849, which shows, we go back a ways, in addition to, as we heard this morning, the Battle of Seven Oaks in 1816. In 1849, Guillaume Sayer was charged by the Hudson's Bay Company for illegal sale of furs. They were trying to break the back of the Métis economy that was going quite strong at the time. And Louis Riel Sr. and about 100 Métis horsemen surrounded the courthouse, and of course they were armed. And inside the judge said, well, you're guilty, but you're free to go. So outside they're saying, commerce is libre. So it was like we were the forerunners of free trade. You thought Mulrooney did something? Hey, Louis Riel and the Métis, Louis Riel Sr., we had free trade in 1849. And just to finish off in that note, you heard President Chartrand speak about the squeaky wheels with the Red River carts. We basically were the first Teamsters in Western Canada, the Métis. So we have a long, long history, and we're still going strong, and we're going to get even stronger as we move forward. I am pleased to be signing the Canada Métis Nation Economic Development Accord today with Minister Velcourt. As President Chartrand stated this morning, as a minister in the Mulrooney government back in the 1980s, Minister Velcourt was instrumental in opening new opportunities for us in the areas of employment and training and economic development. The record will show that we have delivered on these opportunities. Our three Métis capital corporations on the prairies have rolled over their initial capital of some $20 million multiple times for a total, we estimate, at $130 million in loans to 2,000 small businesses that have created close to 6,000 jobs. Our oldest equity capital corporation, the Clarence Campo Development Fund in Saskatchewan, has funded more than 800 businesses for a total of $47 million with client equity of $24 million and $127 million in leveraged financing that has resulted in approximately 2,400 direct jobs and 6,000 indirect jobs. Our skills development institutions have trained thousands of people for employment. Under the current assets program, since 2010, approximately 58% of their clients have found employment within 24 weeks, and 22% had returned to school, which translates into an 80% success rate. And again, President Chartrand is our minister responsible for social development, which includes this particular portfolio. So to us, this is a great success, and we definitely want Pierre to renew the program, because that's one of the biggest things that has contributed to our engagement in the economy of this country. Our oldest educational institute or institution, the Gabriel Dumont Institute in Saskatchewan, through its education arm, SUNTEP, has graduated more than 1,000 Métis teachers since 1984, increasing provincial GDP by $2.5 billion and provincial government revenue in excess of $1 billion. And I'm pleased to say that I see here today two former SUNTEP grads, Dwayne Trudeau-Roth and Jordy McCaffrey, both successful in their respective fields. And they contribute a lot in taxes, more than I do, because they make more than I do. But anyway, the track record speaks for itself and illustrates why one of the Accord's priorities is strengthening the role of Métis institutions to advance economic development. I welcome the political leaders of the Métis Nation and senior management of these educational, training, and business development institutions who have joined us today. It's through your hard work, of course, that we are making this progress. Another priority of the Accord encompasses industry partnerships that are critical to economic growth and job creation of our people, and we've already heard both previous speakers speak to this, so I won't go into that aspect of it, but with industry working with us and cooperative governments and our own abilities, we do have a lot of capacity to move forward. The roundtable discussions on procurement, Métis participation in major economic and resource development projects, and labor force development will include some of our key industry partners, and of course I welcome them here as well. Building on the strong entrepreneurial tradition of our people, our approach to economic development is pro-growth and opportunity-driven, so partnering with the private sector is essential. At the same time, we cannot forget the important role of the federal and provincial governments in supporting these partnerships. And again, we've heard that already, just reinforcing that. I welcome the representatives of the provinces and would like to commend Minister Robinson in particular for bringing the first, or being the first to propose moving forward toward a national Métis economic development strategy at an earlier MEDS dinner. Minister Robinson did join us for our dinner last night, but unfortunately other matters prevented him from joining us here this morning. But his willingness to work with us is still there, and he reaffirms that at all the meetings that I attend with him. As we heard last week from the President and CEO of Manitoba Hydro, at the last engagement session leading up to MEDS 3, the 20-year agreement between Manitoba Hydro and the Manitoba Métis Federation will be a real driver of economic development for the Métis people in Manitoba. And of course, you saw his remarks up earlier on the screen. Let me conclude by saying it is most appropriate that Minister Valcourt, who played such a large role in getting the ball rolling more than 25 years ago, should be here today to take our work on economic development to a new level with the signing of the Canada Métis Nation Métis Economic Development Accord. The accord speaks to the needs and aspirations of Métis people, and with the active and ongoing participation of the provinces and industry, can in fact contribute to growth and job creation for the Canadian economy. And as we always say in the Métis Nation, we're here to be part of Canada. We will do our share in ensuring the economic well-being of Canada in the same way as Minister Chartrand in the past has always reminded us. Our veterans played a great role in defending not only Canada, but world peace. In that same spirit, we continue in that tradition, and we seek to, in fact, become an even greater player in the economic life of Canada, and our commitment is there to do so. Thank you.
Well done, my friend.